Welcome to Black Libra Goddess Readings. I'm your reader, Jay. Nice to meet you. In this podcast, I focus on tarot and other spiritual practices, specifically hoodoo, with a bit of humor, wit, insight, and a whole lot of love. If that's your vibe, come chill with me for an hour or so and let's heal, comfort, and grow together. Let's get started. Hello, my beloveds. Welcome back to Black Libra Goddess Readings podcast. For this episode, we're going to be diving into the energy for 2026, what to expect in this year, and how to survive, thrive throughout it. At the time I'm recording this is currently January 15th, and regardless of where you are in the world, this is a scary place, and it's not going to get any less scarier, but that is just a means for us to step up and make the world a place in which we are all safe, cared for, loved, protected, guided, everything like that. The world isn't the way it is because it's just the way it is, but it is the way it is because that's how it's been made, if that makes any sense. We are as much as part and creators in this world as we are just beings of it. So that's what this reading is about. I got a tarot deck out. I pulled some oracle decks out to shuffle later for the reading. I tried to do a pre-reading shuffle of getting all the cards out and then just seeing what they say during the reading. When I finished the tarot part of the reading, but nothing was coming up. The only card that pulled out was from one deck, which I think is the overall energy for the reading. So I'm going to just continue to go on as I normally would do a tarot reading. If you've seen any of my tarot videos before, I'm just going to shuffle the deck. You're going to be hearing sounds of the shuffle, so if you like hearing the sounds of the shuffling card, good for you. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm going to shuffle the deck, but before I do that, I'm going to say a prayer. So you can say your own prayer words of whatever you need to do before you do a reading. I really do suggest that you do a deep inhale and exhale in order to connect with this reading. Pause it as you need, the audio as you need to, and just meditate, talk to your spirits, your guides, whatever you believe in before you do this reading, and ask to see if it connects, if this reading is meant for you, if it connects with you. And yeah, so let's get into it. Great Spirit, I thank you for watching over me and my loved ones. I pray that you guide me during this reading. I pray that you allow me to read these messages accurately, honestly, and truthfully. Give me the knowledge, the wisdom, and the insight in order to convey whatever message you have for the collective, for your children, for your people. I ask that my beloved benevolent ancestors, both known and unknown, who wish me good and not harm, my beloved guides, great mother, the divine mother, Malkali, and the great grandfather, to guide me as I do this reading. Also give me insight, connect with my divine gift of healing and my divine gift of divination. Allow me to read accurately and truthfully. This I pray. Amen and Ashe, Ashe and Amen. All right. So first I'm going to read the card that I pulled. I do not remember the name of this deck, but I'll have every deck in the description box of the reading so you can look into it. This deck, I believe, is, however, discontinued. But it's called The Fifth Masked Connection, Diplomacy, Interaction, Complex Relationships. So let's see how that will unfold for 2026. Alright, let's see. What's the energy for 2026? What is the overall energy for 2026? right, we have the Seven of Wands. All right, what else? What other messages you have for us? What other messages you have for us, Spirit? Okay, all right. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, 7 coming up a lot. Fifth mask, 7, 7 of Wands, 7 of Pentacles. Okay. What else? Spirit, what else? Okay. What's this one? This one is the Magician in reverse. Okay. Let me get one more card, Spirit. Let me get one more card, Spirit. That one almost came out, but not quite. One more card, Spirit, please. Up, and there you go. Oh, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. Oh, what is the energy for 2026? All right. So already, so the major arcana cards are in reverse, and major arcana cards are like those big, huge moments in life, and the minor arcana cards are the ones that are those intricate everyday moments that lead up to those big moments, or that break down those big moments. So it's like a big moment in your life would be a promotion at work, right? That's a big, huge moment. You've been working hard for it. The minor arcana would be all these steps and work that you put into in order to get that promotion. So everything that you've done into getting it. So they all work together. Neither is more important than the other. However, when we're talking about the energy of 2026, and here it says connection, diplomacy, interaction, complex relationship. When we're talking about the Magician has this ability to like alchemize the situations, to turn something from one thing to the other. And the Wheel of Fortune, it turns, right? Turns up, it turns down. Whatever's in your favor on one day can be against you the next. That's just the way of life. We cannot control or stop the Wheel of Fortune. I said that in a reading. I did a monthly tarot reading earlier this month. I don't remember whose reading it was, but if you do read my monthly tarot readings and you happen to listen to this, that's interesting. But that might be a bit of a confirmation in case you do. But the Wheel of Fortune turns, and we can't really control the way things are going. It just runs in the way that it wants to. And I think this is really important when we're talking about this year, because while there are so many things that we want to do, there are a lot of things that are still yet out of our control. And it's very important that these two major arcana cards are at the end of the reading. So I really want us to first focus that do not expect miracles at the end of the year. I know we live in I think Juju Bay, if you don't know her, she has an amazing podcast called A Little Juju. It's a hoodoo and black spiritual podcast. You definitely should go listen to her after this audio, and support her as well, please. She started my journey. One of the reasons that I started my journey actively. So I love her. She doesn't know who I am, but shout out to her. But yeah, so we are why did I mention her? So we no she talked about like the microwave energy, how everyone wants kind of like want things now. Nobody wants to do the really slow, tedious work. I also talked about this in something that I posted personally, and I'm sorry I keep doing like that, but it's just like it's all connecting. So bear with me for a while. This is not going to be a short audio. And so sometimes we want things immediately. We want things right now. And if it doesn't happen right now, we tend to sort of give up. And I think this is really important for us because you have the Seven of Pentacles here and the Seven of Wands. Wands are passion, they're fire. But in this Seven of Wands from this deck, the man in it, he has one wand in his hand. The rest are just, they're stuck in the ground. Some are leaning forward. But he's not necessarily running to anything, defending anything, fighting anything. He's more so standing his ground. He's more so protecting what he already has. And it may not be much, it may not look like much, but he's there and he's ready and he's willing to fight for it. When we talk about things like wands are passion, they're fiery, and we sometimes think of passion and fire, we just think of things like go, 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 go. It's all like that. But usually when we have a passion about something, it's less about running and hurry up and doing it, but it's more about our focus in it. It's more about when we're passionate about something, we take our time with it. We want to make sure that it's good. We don't want it to just rush it because we're passionate about it, because we enjoy it, because we love it, because we want it to come out the best way it can. And I know, again, with the current political climate, it's like telling people to take something slow, quote unquote, is like telling people to just sit down while they're simmering. That's not what I'm saying. And that's not what I mean. What I mean is we see so much happening and it's right for us to want to go for it and make the change. But what we should be doing is focusing on sustainable, substantial change. We don't want to get caught up in the moment. And then once let's say if you don't like your current president, you don't like your current political governmental system, you don't like whatever like that, and you're like, well, once we get them out, it's all good. But no, because if the system itself is what enabled this person to be in, your work is not done. And if your whole focus is only on quickly removing what you deem is the problem, you're not going to focus on the actual problem. There are some things that are the face of a problem. Some things that are the symptom. I thought about this last night. It's like being mad at a sneeze and not the allergies that cause the sneeze, right? Like the sneeze is just the symptom of a greater issue, the allergies, right? So, you don't want to focus on just those one or two elements that are visible. You want to make sure that the system itself is tended to and challenged in order for whatever this is. And I don't know why I'm being vague, because I guess I'm trying to be general just for like anyone who's leading this. But like, listen, you do not want the system. I'm an American. I'm a Black American. Shit's fucked. In order to make sure that this current rise of global fascism is not something that has a firm foothold, we have to do more than just think that we have to remove the despot in power. We have to move the strongman in power. We have to move the dictator in power. And then the problem will be solved. There is a system that created these people, that aided and abetted these people. And this system still exists. The system doesn't die once that person is gone, right? The system continues because it created this monster, right? It's like fighting a hydra. You're too busy trying to chop off one head, but two more keep growing, and you're going to end up fighting this multi-headed beast when you should be going to the heart of it. When you get to the heart of it, you're destroyed. No more heads get popped out. No more heads grow off. But everyone is mostly focusing on getting to the head. They see like chopping off the head. And even if the head keeps coming back, they're still thinking, I got to get the head. I got to get the head. No one is stopping, pausing, and thinking, how do we kill this beast permanently? Make sure that it doesn't keep growing. You got to get to the heart of it. And that's why you have these two major arcana cards at the end of the tarot reading, at the end of the tarot pile, in reverse, because it wants you to know, like, no matter what we do this year, what steps we take, do not think that your job is done just because it may turn up in your favor in the end of the year, just because whatever work you may put forward might have positive consequences. Your work is not done. Your job is not done until it's done. That's the saying that goes, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. And let me tell you, as the fat lady, I am not belting. Do you hear me? It's not over yet. The Seven of Pentacles is the 7 and 8 of Pentacles. 7, 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles are very, very fascinating cards to me. They always are, because they are so quickly interconnected. The 7 of Pentacles is using a card where someone is currently putting in the work. The 8 is if I remember correctly, the 8 is the work showing, is proof. 9 is the if I remember correctly, is the full-on consequence of all the work, and 10 is the legacy, I believe. In this 7 of Pentacles card, the person is standing, he's standing proud next to a bushes of pentacles, and he's got all his weapons with him. He's got everything packed up, ready to go. This person is prepared as fuck. And I think I really love these two. First of all, I love these two 7 cards. 7 is my favorite number. And 7 to me is a 5 and 7 are numbers of completion. Oh my gosh, the 5th mass. 5 and 7 are numbers of completion. To me personally, they don't have to be for you, but for me personally, they're numbers of completion. And so when you have these cards here, where you have these two very specific energies here, where someone is very steadfast in what they want, what they believe in. They're standing strong in the 7 of Wands, and they are unmovable in the Pentacle, in the 7 of Pentacles. The Pentacle card is a card that deals with the earth. It can deal with the wealth, but it deals with solid physical things. Whereas like cups, wands, and swords are like water energy, flowing energy, mental energy, passion, those type of things that are, while like water is a physical element, is ever flowing and is ever changing. It changes, it takes the form and the shape of whatever it's placed into, and it has a different type of movement than the ground itself. The ground is something that's solid, there's something that's steady. You can break the ground, but it does not break easy. The ground is what we set our foundations on. We don't set our foundations on passions. Passions can guide us to our foundations, but passions can crumble, right? Passions are not actual physical things. Thoughts, while they motivate us and move, they're not actual physical things. And water-wise, the necessity of life, you cannot place your foundation on water, because water in itself is just not stable. Water can change in any which way or form. You do not know which way water can shift and change. But ground is steady. Ground is solid. And once we stand firm on something, as if we're standing and planted in the ground, there is a old Negro spiritual that goes, just like a tree planted it by the water, I shall not be moved. That's the type of energy that we have to be in. We have to be in this type of very concerned, very resolved, strict type of I won't be shaken type of energy. And the reason why that's important is because things are going to come and challenge us, and they're going to challenge us badly. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And I would love to tell you anything else, anything differently. I would love to say it's going to be all right. It's going to be great. It's going to be good. Everything's going to be A-okay. I want to tell you that because I want to hear that too, but I'm also a realist, and I like to hear the truth, even if it hurts me, even if it frustrates me, even if it scares me. Because if I know what the truth is, I know what to expect. Like, don't tell me that the food I'm eating that's poisonous, that will kill me, is a-okay. Tell me I am going to die, so that I can make my choices, so I can say my goodbyes, so I can look my death in the eye and be like, I'm going to die, right? Don't tell me it's going to be all right when there is no all right, right? So I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be a-okay come December 31st. It's not going to be a-okay come December 31st, because we did not get in this situation within a 12-month time period, and we're not going to get ourselves out of this situation within a 12-month time period. And I'm talking about on a very global scale here. So I'm not talking about personally. This is not a reading for your personal individual lives. If I don't know if I didn't make that clear at the beginning, but if that's what you're looking for, according to my timer here on my recorder, I'm about 21 minutes in. If that is what you're looking for, I'm sorry. You are free to leave the audio. I will see you in the next one. This is not a personal individual reading about what your personal 2026 will look here. This is a reading for the collective, for us globally. Anyone who hears this and knows that they are part of the global humanity, of global life, of global humanity, family, however you want to describe yourself. This is about the energy that we're all collectively facing, no matter what individually happens in your life. And collectively, the things that we're going through collectively, globally, across the world are not one and done situations. They are not situations that occurred once in a blue moon, thanks to a certain person, a certain country, a certain law, whatever. It's because of systems that have been put in place for generations. Systems that my ancestors, my immediate ancestors, my father, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my distant ancestors have been living under. This is the amalgamation of all of that coming to a head. The thing is, though, as strong as our enemy may seem, everything, absolutely everything, has an ending period. Everything must die. And for us to get to the end of that line, we all have to understand that at the end of it, everything is for the benefit of killing this Hydra by shooting it in the heart. And we have to understand that we all have different battles, different missions within this fight, but we have to stand firm, whatever that is, whatever that battle is, whatever that position is calling us to be. So that's what these two front cards, these 7 of Wands and the 7 of Pentacles, is telling us. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull out another deck. Pause. All right, so I got a new deck, and what I wanted to do with this deck, I'm trying to avoid scraping across my desktop while I shuffle. Like I like y'all to hear the shuffling of the cards, but not everything else that comes around it, that comes with it. But anyway, what I want to do with this is I want to pull out some additional messages. So like, who is being called and what positions are being called to do in this reading. So I may even use my oracle cards to help supplement this. Let me pull another deck. There is another deck that I think would also be beneficial in this. So the two tarot decks that I'm using are the Tazama African Tarot and the Ethereal Visions Luna Edition Tarot. I am not affiliated with anything. If it's not my own tarot and oracle decks, it's not affiliated with me. These are just decks so that if you want to look at the cards while you're messaging or in there, you're interested in looking at the cards, you can do that. I'm going to be using the I just pulled out the African Goddess Rising Oracle, and I'm going to be using this to help supplement this next part of the reading, which is what certain positions or certain callings are being awakened, are being put forth for us to meet the need of this moment. We're still working in our fifth mass connection. I think I haven't really talked about this, but I'm going to come back to this card because I do think that it's very important that when we're talking about collectively, we're talking about connections and interactions and complex relationships, and complex relationships can be a negative thing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could just be that there are a myriad of relationships that we probably would never have seen ourselves connect with in order to meet the current climate that we're going into. But so let's get some. Oh, look at that. 9 of Wands came out. All right. I thought it was a 7 of Wands for a second. I had to read. I was like, no, they're coming out again. All right, Spirit. Give me some more cards about who's being activated during this time. What positions, gifts, gifts are being activated to meet the need for this time? We have the 9 of Wands, right? Oh, okay. We have the Artist, which is a card that is unique to this deck. And we have the Justice in reverse. All right. What else we have? Oh, and we have the 6 of Swords. All right. Okay. All right. So these are the positions that are being awakened for this. So we have the 9 of Wands, and in this deck you have a man who has a bandage around his head. He looks a little bit, his brows a little bit furrowed, so he looks maybe a little bit worried, but I read it as more as a weary warrior who's keeping watch, who's making sure that people are in the place where they need to be. He's a wounded warrior because he's probably been doing this for a very long time. These are the type of people that look for those old heads, for those people who have been doing the work for generations. So if you have, or if you know any people in organizations that have been who've been working in these organizations that are constantly looking for like supporters, or that's financially, or that's bodies in the ground, or what have you, it's a really good time for you to reach out to them. These people are a little bit older. They not necessarily have to be like elderly, but they've definitely been in this war for a very long time, and they're still fighting, and they're still looking for people to stand firm and stand tall. If you are one of these people, if you're reading this and you're one of these people, this is a really good time for you to really ensure that hold on, sorry, it sounded like someone was doing firecrackers in the houses behind me, so I wasn't quite sure if that would catch on audio or not, but I wanted to be safe. But anyway, like I said, for those of you who are in this position, who are the ones who've been putting in the work, who've been doing that, sharing the knowledge and doing all these things, these working to fight against these systems. Your job is so crucial. I know you're tired, but keep going. Keep going. You will find your helpers very soon. People are they're looking to want to do something. They are just as eager as you are to know and figure out what to do. And that is your position. Your position is to just be steady, hold strong, be the teachers, the leaders that you are meant to be, the guiders that you are meant to be. You are the ones who are going to be pointing people, go here, go there, go here, do this, do this, do that. We need you. We need you. It might have felt like you've been fighting alone, like you and whatever organization or groups or grassroots organizations or whatever that you're a part of feel like you've been fighting along, and that people are just now waking up and you're happy, but it's like people are waking up and now they're just running and doing things, and you're like, oh no, it's going to get dangerous for them. What the words I'm looking for? Announce yourself. Announce that you're here. Announce that you need help, and help in any type of way. Whether you work at a what do they call those places? Like a food place. Oh my goodness. Where they, like a food bank. Goodness, where you work at a food bank, whether you work with like at the ACLU or something similar to that, whether you like whatever it is that you've been doing for a very long time, continue to do that. Continue to keep the faith. Continue to hold the line. You are very essential. We are thankful for you, and your job is to just sound the alarms like you've normally been doing, saying like, hey, I see all you guys are very upset and you're thinking there's nothing we can do. Here's what I've been doing, or here's what we've been doing. This is what we need of you. This is what is being called for. This is how we fight. It's very important that you speak up through the haze and let people be a lighthouse, light, so to speak. Guide these people through. And I know that you're very tired, but this be really important because you'll be able to help other people organize to fight, to better fight. And there'll be different types of ways to fight, but for this particular way of fighting, you'll be your best way to help people organize, to fight like at a systemic level, or to meet the needs that are being neglected in a lot of places, in a lot of situations, ways, and things, stuff and things. Oh God, this is a very serious reading. It's just I'm a very silly person and my words are failing me, so I'm laughing at myself for my words failing me, but I'm very serious about this. What else? Nine of Wands. What else? Yeah. Also, since you won't be doing this alone, you don't have to worry about like burnout, overworking. You're gonna have people there who are gonna tend to you and care for you as well. Like Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. You're a helper, and I know as a healer myself, we tend to be neglected on the back end. People tend to reach out for us when they need things, and then they just kind of neglect us. It's very important for you to speak up and advocate for yourself for the things that you need as well, personally and collectively. You know, what is needed of the collective? What do you personally need as in whatever you work? For those who are Nine of Wands, if you feel that this is your energy, what do you need personally, individually, and what do you need collectively of one another. Say those things out loud. Share those insights. Share your wisdom. I guarantee you people will hear, people will ask questions. Do not be afraid to answer them. If they're in bad faith, don't worry about answering them as an argument sent. Focus on the people who see those bad faith arguments and might think, and respond to those people. And what I mean is, like, instead of directing towards those bad faith arguments, instead do something along the lines of, I know this is a bad faith argument, but here is what can actually be done. Here's what can actually, this is proof of how it's been working. This is, you know what I mean? Like that, like change the narrative, shift the narrative around. The next one is the artists. These are the writers, the painters, the musicians. These are the ones that usually are the ones that are more remembered. And I say that because, not because their job is most important, is because people connect to art. And usually when we have like these type of fascist regimes, art is one of the first things to go. We see it with book bans. People want to control the narrative. They want to control who gets to speak and who gets to tell the stories. People remember stories because before we ever wrote anything down, we were all storytellers. This is how we shared our religions, how we shared our cultures, how we shared our myths, how we shared everything. We are storytelling people, and we still are. So do not be afraid, if you're an artist, to create. For me, that includes continue to work on my blog, write stories, write articles, doing these podcasts, doing those type of things as a creative person. Find your avenue. If you don't have to, it's not about being perfect, by the way. I know that perfection is a thing that kind of gets the creatives a lot. It kicks our ass a lot. This is not the time for that. It's the time for making sure that the message is told. So whether that's stickers, graffiti, zines, whatever you have. I also want to say before I go any further, these are not one-off roles. What I mean by that is the artist does not work alone. You can, and I honestly should be working with like the Nine of Wands and going forward with every other groups, because this is a collective reading. Like I said, even though I talked about the Nine of Wands individual, some individual moments, and I will be talking about artists individually, both individually and collectively, we have to work together. That is the key point of this reading, is how do we as a people, as humans, work together with each other for a common good, for a common benefit. If you begin to see yourself as the Superman, the hero, you need to step back. You need to take a breath. You need to reevaluate. There are no superheroes. None of us are superheroes. None of us are going to come out at the end of it, or whether we shouldn't, because we don't actually get to decide what our legacy is. That's the gag of it, right? We may have decide what we want. We have a hope for what we want our legacy to be, but we don't actually get to decide what it is. Other people do. And when you remove that whole legacy aspect and just think about what is being called of me, what is being needed of me, how can I assist, then you get to work. You work better, fuller, and in a more effective manner, instead of being like, how do I save everyone? You instead move it from the individual to the collective, from the individual to the whole, right? The heart doesn't think it's the most important instrument in the entire body, even though the heart is important. But if the brain stops, then what of the heart? If the lungs stop, what of the heart, right? Every organ in our body has a function. Even our outward parts of our body has a function and have a purpose. Like the largest organ in our body is our skin, right? It defends us from so many things, but no one ever thinks about that in the same way they think about the heart, the lungs, the brain, all those type of things. We don't think about how strong our femur is, because it's one of the hardest bones to break, because it's meant there for our strengthening, right? So we tend to ignore it, whereas we tend to think about smaller things like maybe popping your shoulder, your knee, your ankle, or something like that. But all of these work together to make us the human body, right? And likewise for us, all of our purposes, whatever they are. And these are just 4 of the cards I pulled. There are so many more different calls that someone has, and this is just for those of us who happen to hear this reading, happen to listen to this reading, and being like, how do I help? What is my position? What should I do? These are for you. But you could find your mission outside of these things. These are tended to be usually the ones that I tend to reach out for, that I tend to kill, that comes up in my readings a lot. But yeah, so as an artist, your job is to create, to make sure that we do not forget, that this moment stirs up people. Do it, paint something, graffiti something, write something, draw something, tattoo something, whatever you have to do, in whichever ways that you are an artist, whichever way that you are drawn to create, you create. Just like that 7 of Wands, we were talking about, like the passion, you stand firm, and it stand firm in that way, whatever that thing that draws you, whatever that is your passion that you put your focus in, put your focus into that. Put your focus into that passion and create something that stirs the people up, that stirs the mind. There are still some people, believe it or not, who will sit back, twirl their fingers, and think everything will resolve itself, because they don't want to get involved, because either A, they're probably so safe in their comfortability that it doesn't matter what happens, they know that they'll be good. Discomfort them, disturb them. That's what your job as an artist is to do. Your job is to discomfort the comforted, disturb the calm. Because why? When the world is on fire, they're like, It reminds me of Edgar Allan Poe's The Mask of the Red Death. I reread that recently. Plague pounding outside the door, and the prince decides to have a ball, invite all of his friends. There's rooms galore. There's a party and drinking, but every hour everyone stops for the clock to chime, counting down every hour that passed, and every hour that passed they dance again, and until eventually death literally comes at their door, and there's nothing they can do. Death has already been in the place. There are some people who think of themselves as secure, that nothing's gonna ever touch them, that they're safe. They got their money, they got all their things locked away, they're safe, they're secure, nothing's gonna shake them up, nothing's gonna bother them. Remind them that they are mortal, please, artists. Remind them that they do not get out of this life alive. Remind them that the reason why they're doing the shit that they're doing is because they are terrified in the first place. People don't behave in the way that folks are behaving if they're secure. A secure person doesn't have to enact laws to make sure that other people around them are subjugated to them. Secure people don't have to call ICE on people on the street and have them dragged and beaten and bruised and murdered. Secure people don't have to do those type of violent things, because security is within itself. I don't have to prove to you that I'm secure. I am. I don't have to prove to you that I got this. I do. All you have to do is sit back and watch. But when I am insecure, when I am afraid, I will do everything in my power to destroy my opposition, my opponents, the people that scare and shake me up. I'll ban literature. I'll make a person's existence illegal. I will create laws that hinder people's movement, that arrest them, that puts their lives at danger. And I'll do all of that to ensure the very fragility of my position. Remind them of it. Be the figure of death in their ballroom while they're drinking and laughing it up. Be that reminder, that clock that's always chiming to remind them that their time is coming. And when at the very last minute, when they think they're going to see a whole nother day, stand in front of them and be like, actually, no. I'm here to get at your heart. I'm here to destroy this shit. We've had enough. Artists, that's what your job is to do. Your job is to stand up and fight from a creative standpoint. While the Nine of Wands is working on mutual aid systems and things like that, you'll be working on the creative aspect of it. Next, we have the Justice in reverse. The Justice card is the card that everything's fair. The Justice card makes sure that things are fair. They make sure that things are... at first I was going to turn this card upright. I was like, I don't really think I need reverse cards in this part of the reading. But then I was like, no. Because this part of the job is for those who said, fuck it, I'm tired. Fuck it, I'm tired. These are the people who are, I won't say just waking up. The people who might have believed in a fair world, who might have believed that everything is created in the way that it's meant to. And maybe you've lived a life that has honed that sort of belief system that made you believe that everything is working and moving in the way that it's meant to. Everything's working and moving how it should be. And we just have to work within the cards of it. Your world has been shaken. And it's good. I'm glad that it has. Welcome to the rest of the humanity. Congratulations. Congrats for joining the rest of us in reality. These type of people, you guys are very fervent. You've realized that there's injustice in the world, and you kind of want to correct it. I'm going to challenge you to not try to make things return to into a world where things were, hold on. I'm sorry if y'all can hear that. That's my heater. I'm fucking cold. I try to have it off, but it's too much. So just know that I'm warm while I'm reading this message. For justice, you have to be careful that you're not trying to turn the world back into what it used to be. Because that world was already flawed and imperfect. This is not about trying to reform or reshape the world into the previous world's image. This is about you understanding that a new world is possible, and you need to be ready and willing to ensure what it takes to make this new world a possibility. I think these are the people, I think it's very interesting that these people are a part of this reading. For those of us, especially the Nine of Wands, these are going to be the type of people that are really going to need to be tended to, because they are so new to this. They're so still very fragile to this. They might even had a shock to their system. They're angry, maybe even be eager, but guide them to the best way that you can possibly be. These people might just be the ones who are very quick with a protest. They may be the ones throwing shit at a ICE officer, the police officer's head. Let them throw shit at the head. Uh, um, and the reason why I say that is because these are type of people that understand justice in a very finite way, very eye for eye type of people. Very uh, you hit me, I hit you, type of things, like, and then it's even, it's fair. Um, Revolutions require revolutionaries, and they don't always, revolutions aren't always neat, which is why there's different types of ways, because regardless of what path you take, we have to remember that we're here for the common good. Again, no one is a superhero, no one is a hero, no one should be working from that point of view. We should all be working to remembering what our common goal and purpose is to not only remove these people, but the systems, and reshape the world, or reshape our society into one that is beneficial for all of us. And it is not something that will be done within a year. Remember the reverse magician and the wheel of fortune. It's not something that's going to happen within the end of this year, or if in a year, or even within the next year. But it's something that's going to be a lifelong journey, because these things will always keep coming up, because there's always going to be someone who wants to rule the world. And they're always going to need people who are going to be like, no, the fuck you will not, right? So we must always continue to the fight. If we to not, it's not saying that we don't take moments of rest, because it's very important, but we don't get too lax, where we get too comfortable, where we end up being that justice upright card, where we begin to once again view the world as this set of a just world, where everything exists in this way and that way, and it's always kind of been that way. And we forget that the world we created, whether it was not us personally, but ancestors have created this. People who come before us have created this world, have created this life. These systems that we live in, these systems have not always existed. We have not always lived under capitalism. One of the things that ticks me off is when people say we've always had capitalism. Like, no, we've had traders, barter systems, but we have not always had capitalism. And yes, you've always had people who were cheats, but that's not capitalism. A cheat is a cheat. Capitalism is a system where the workers do not have control of anything, where the corporations, one or two people with money, status, and power controls everything, and they hoard that wealth with the intention of forcing your hand to continue to work for them. Capitalism is a never-ending beast, always hungry, always gnawing, even when its resources dry up. Capitalism is meeting its cap right now. It has no more, nothing else to swallow up. And so, or at least it shouldn't have anything to swallow up. At least it used to have enough sense to know to not swallow its own tail. And now it doesn't even have the sense not to do that. So we should make sure that the work that we're doing here is, everyone has their job, everyone has that purpose, and the work that we're doing here is to create a new world that is the antithesis to the world that we previously knew. We do not shape the world into the mistakes of our forefathers. Honor them, love them, respect them, but we don't shape the world into their worldview, because it's the worldview of a handful of people who had decided who had worth and who did not. Honestly, don't even respect them, because I'm thinking about forefathers, I'm thinking like, oh, ancestors. No, do not respect those forefathers. Do not respect those people who created the world to where they can be at the top and everyone else is subjected underneath them, and these systems continue to grow. For the justice in reverse people, you Your job is to educate yourself. Educate yourself. Educate yourself how to best fight these systems. Again, you may have to be the people going knuck for buck in these type of things. Sometimes you have to be the person being a little bit wild in these situations, but remember that you are not the only one in those situations. So yeah, you may be angry and throw a bottle at someone's head, but do know that disproportion retribution is the thing, which means they're not coming just for you. They're coming for the entire group. So you should be very careful in how you move. You are the babies of the group. You know, other people in this group might have known how to fight or been fighting in their own way, some shape or form, their entire lives. You have just now awoken to the realities of the world, and you are still trying to find your footing, and that whole idea of justice has been shaken. And your idea of justice, like I said, is eye for eye, tooth for tooth. That's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but I do think you should be really wise in how you make your moves. You should be really wise in how you engage with people. Think about the people out around you. This is why I think it's really important that you connect with the Nine of Wands and the artist. You might need to be the ones who are running into the heat of battle. And when I say running heat of battle, I don't mean like fighting. You're probably like the who is it? Who am I thinking of? You're like the person who, you ever seen those action movies, like the Messenger, who's like everyone's fighting around it, but the messenger has to get the message to them. They have to like run to the battle and try not to like get killed while they're delivering a message. That's probably what you are, Justice. You do what is requested of you, what is required of you, and you do it to your best ability. You might, I'm figuring how to say this. You might make mistakes, learn from them. But again, remember that you're not alone. I'm going to move on, but I'll be back to you, Justice. Because the next card is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is, I was about to say a coward card. But I don't necessarily think this is a coward. But the Six of Swords definitely a card where a person who's laid his weapons down and he's looking for a new place to go, but he still has his weapons, right? Wherever he's going, he's gonna make sure that nothing's gonna come for him. Whether he's gonna use those weapons to sell, whether he's gonna use those weapons to defend, wherever he's going, he's prepared. The Six of Swords in reverse energy for me reads as the defenders, the fighters. You're kind of like been activated in a sense. You are on the front line. You are working with, I say, the Justice cards. Whereas the Nine of Wands and the artists are more behind the scenes. They're more doing things, not necessarily in the midst always. Like I said, Nine of Swords is working on mutual aid, is working on filling in the gaps that the system has left behind. The artist is creating, rechanging and editing the narratives by challenging through creation. The Justice and a Six of Wands in reverse, you are like the foot soldiers. Whereas I think the Justice card is, like I said, the baby, the newer version of people just waking up and being shook and scared and not knowing what to do, so just doing a little bit of everything. I think the Six of Swords, you've been here before. You've been in the streets. You put your bodies on the line, just like in the same way the Nine of Wands have. And I really do like that the Nine of Wands and the Six of Swords are sort of like mirroring each other. At the beginning and the end of this part of the reading, you guys really have a maturity about you. you're not new to this, you're true to this. And this is why I think it's like really important for a book. And we were talking about in the original oracle card, complex relationships, because these cards are all so different. It seems complex, sometimes conflicting, and it will be. But you have to understand that everyone has a purpose, everyone has a job, everyone has a calling that they have to do and focus on. And like I said, these are just the fours that I have in this reading. There are probably many more positions that you can have and do, as a collective and individually, of course. But for you two, this Nine of Wands and the Six of Swords, you guys are like the elders. You guys have been to battle. You guys have been here. You guys know, y'all know what it is. Like I said, not new to this, true to this. Y'all been with the shits from day one. You guys are definitely the Seven of Pentacles energy. You've solidified your ground. You know where you stand, and you are fit to defend it by all ends. No one is going to come and like, you've been threatened before, and you might have had the hard boot of fascism, of tyranny on your neck before, and you've survived it. And you have the scars to prove it. And you also have the scars. You have the scars to prove it, but you also have that experience that shows that this is something that can be done long term. Something that can ground the reverse justice card, who might burn out easily because they weren't running solely on anger. They're running on fumes, essentially. You guys are the ones that can keep these people grounded, and make sure that whatever that they're doing has a long-term and not just a momentary effect. I don't suggest you try to change the justice card, try to get the justice card to lean one way or the other. Like I said, everyone has their purpose and their goals and their callings. I wouldn't try to do that. I would just be there for them. The justice card is also very vocal, so they may not always be young, but they may feel young because they are so in your face vocal with it. They're so in your face yelling and screaming. They will stand next to their enemy and yell right in their fucking face and tell them to go fuck themselves. And we all see their videos, and we all love the videos, and we like them and we share them. They're great, but sometimes they can run into dangers. But they can be. I'm thinking also, when I'm thinking of justice in reverse, I'm thinking like the Black Panthers, like the modern day Black Panthers. Because I think the old day Black Panthers would be a mixture of all of these cards, honestly. I think the modern day Black Panthers, from what I understand of them, it's not that I don't think they are coordinated, because I think they probably are, and I don't think they're educated, because I think they probably are. I'm pretty sure they are, but I do see them being very vocal, very stand your ground, very confrontational, and like I said, I think there's a need for that, because usually what you need is someone to scare these people back. These people are so used to those in power, those in corruptive systems are so used to not being confronted with fear, or using fear to their advantage, that when they see it doesn't work, they don't really know what to do. And that's really why I said it's best to not try to tame the justice card, but to learn to work with the justice card. And if they're really young and they're just awakening to the injustice of the world, guide them, help them learn not how to get burned out, how to learn how to have a sustained fight. That's really is what is important for the Nine of Wands and the Six of Swords to do. Six of Swords, you guys are there again fighting on the front lines, where the Justice reverse is very explosive. You guys are, you're everyone else. You're the protesters, you're the marchers, you are the people that are, you have tips on how to wash out, like what is it called, tear gas. You're the people who knows about how to protect identities, how to spot a mark or a narc or whoever is in there that's not actually part of the group. You're the people that's like, hey yo, 5-0. You know what I mean? You are the people who have been in the shit physically. You know what it is and what it isn't. And you are the ones telling people, hey, do not bring a camera to the protest. Hey, cover up your tattoos. Hey, use a burner phone. Hey, use this app. Don't use this app. Do this. Don't do that. You're the people who know how to work with this protest. You guys have probably worked really well with the Artist and the Nine of Wands before. And continue to do that. Continue to work. Continue as a collective to work together. Find yourself within these four very limited callings, and who are you within those callings. There's another position here, and that's my position as a healer. But it didn't come up in the cards, so I'm gonna just pull some more cards and see what else maybe it comes in the cards, or maybe there's another position here. So I'm moving on. It's already an hour. This is probably gonna be a very long reading, so I hope you guys got your tea ready. You are, you got your meal, you got your drink. I'm saying it's like an hour into the reading, but hey, I hope you paused and got yourself something to eat. All right, let's see. Who else? What are the purposes of the callings? Healers, I may do a separate reading for you guys. Maybe I'll do it, a particular one right on my YouTube channel. So, that's going to be a message for all of us, including myself. But for now, these are those four positions. Oh, and here we go. Oh, we got Medusa, Rage. All right. For these cards, I'm going to be reading from the book. We have Atete, Worthiness. All right. What else? What other messages we have? Oh, Oshun, Fearless Love. Okay. I feel like one more card. One more card, please. Connections. That is the Yimiya Awakening. Okay. Perfect for these cards. Oh, Lord. When I went to close my window, I had moved all my cards around, and when I went to grab the book, I forgot that I didn't reshift them back. Oh my gosh, so it was a mess. Yeah, so I like these cards. I like how these cards, I think they're connected with the rest of the reading, and I'm glad that I didn't pull them yet. But I'm going to take a quick second to go back to the word connection, and I think this is really important when we're talking about, again, because this is a reading for the collective, and how we as a collective needs to meet the need and the purpose of this year, 2026, and how all these cards, by what position, your purpose, your calling you're in, how they all interconnected into each other. Connection is going to be a really, really big, point for this year. Connecting with your people, connecting with your purpose, connecting with your calling, connecting with your ancestors, your guides, your spirit, your your culture, your purpose, every single thing is all about connection. All right, so I'm going to be reading from the book, and again, I'm using the African Goddess Rising Oracles right now. And so the first one for Medusa, Rage. Her element is fire, which is, we have the Seven of Wands here, so that is a passion and a fire wand suit. Medusa's shadow guidance. You are pissed off and petrified, angry and shaking, but underneath that, you are hurt and heartbroken. Feeling undervalued is overwhelming. You can't stay silent anymore. Let your joys, hopes, and beauty rage on. Embodiment. Take a breath. Close your eyes and put both hands over your lower abdomen. Tune into the part of you that feels out of control, flooded with loving, healing, golden light. Now put both hands over your heart and do the same. You have a right to your full range of emotions, including anger. Sacred rage inspires us to run for office, lead protests, there you go, shift policies, there you go. But unhealthy rage can devour your very soul. Yes, that's very important when we're talking about the justice card. It's absolutely okay to, this is why, again, I said I didn't want anybody to like try to correct me, because like your anger and your rage are necessary. We used to say, where I'm from, we used to say righteous anger. Anger that makes you act righteously, not just make you act in the need of anger, right? Because that can they'll only worsen your situations, right? But if you let anger fuel you, guide you, lead you, like when you direct it, when you redirect that anger, you can do wonderful and great things. All our emotions matter. Like Orlando Jones said when he played Anansi in American Gods, anger gets shit done. You will never, ever, ever in my black ass hoodoo library see me telling people to suppress their anger. Baby, anger gets shit done. Anger gets you off of your fucking ass. Anger gets you in the streets. Anger gets you anger moves you. It gets you to the places that you need to be when we're using it correctly. When you let it consume you, that's a problem. Don't let your anger consume you. Don't give your anger that power. Let it fuel you, but don't let it consume you. Let's see. Get clear on what is really happening. Allow yourself to feel your feelings, to see the truth. Just because you feel threatened does not mean you are being threatened. Goddess declaration. I have a right to feel my feelings. I have a right to feel my feelings. Very true. Very true. You have a right to those feelings. You have a right to feel those feelings. You have a right to even work from those feelings. But like I said, let it fuel but not consume you. And next we have Atete worthiness. Her guidance is stop shrinking and playing, stop hiding, shrinking, and playing small. Stand tall like the majestic sycamore tree. You are mighty. Life does not need to be perfect for you to embrace your own perfection. Her embodiment is you matter. Worthiness is in your veins. Accept yourself now. Your birth certificate says that we need our overflowing magic, joy, and vulnerability, and most importantly, we need you. You are deserving and worthy. The beautiful parts of you that everyone likes are worth loving. The parts of you that others dislike are worth loving too. Your creator loves you unconditionally. God's declaration, I matter. I matter. I love this. I love this because we're talking about moving, letting our anger fuel us, but also remembering that we are a part of this world and we matter. Our part in this world matters. Our life matters. No one gets to tell us that our life is worthless because they decided on a metric that certain numbers determine a person's worth. That a certain look, a certain behavior, a certain status, a certain whatever determines your worth. You don't have to contort yourself to fit into a limited view of people who are honestly vicious and cruel, who are creating a world in that vicious and cruel ideology, and telling you you don't work, you don't matter because you don't look like me, you don't You don't fit this very extremely narrow view. And therefore, I'm going to deny you your humanity. And therefore, I'm going to create systems to take away your humanity. You fucking matter. And because you fucking matter, you fight for what is yours. You fight for what you deserve. And you deserve the fullness of this life. Can't nobody take that shit away from you because they did not fucking give it to you. You were born with importance. You mattered from the moment you took your very first fucking breath. From the moment you were pulled from the womb of your mother, you fucking mattered. Never, ever forget that. No matter what you're doing, move from that place that I matter. And the people around me matter too. We all matter. The system tells us we doesn't. People who are playing to the system tell us we don't. People who are benefiting from the system tell us we don't matter. They tell us our numbers don't matter. They tell us that we don't have the strength, we don't have the power, we don't have the finances. That because we don't have those things, we don't matter. Show them that you do. Show them that they're wrong. Stand forth and say, I fucking matter. Love that. Next one is Oshun, Fearless Love. And her guidance is, dare to love. Begin with loving yourself. Allow yourself to be loved. You feel everything deeply. You are porous with a wall around your heart. This is your paradox. Her embodiment is, I'm sorry if I'm sniffling a lot. I think I'm coming down with a cold. Your embodiment, you are love and you are worth loving. Your divine assignment is to remain open to fearless love. You deserve to be loved in your language. You are worthy of a love that remembers your beauty and at your ugliest moments. Don't allow your unhealed past to block your future. Real love is a sacred contract that says, I am vulnerable and committed. Your heart is safe with me. Let's expand our consciousness together. Goddess declaration, I give love, I receive love, I am love. This is very important too. I wrote an article about, I don't remember the name of it, but I'll remember to link it down below. But it was an article about, hold on, I got a cough. Excuse me. It was about turning love conquers all from a seemingly empty platitude into something that is actual, true, and meaning and substantial. And sometimes I feel like people use love, the term love, as a coding, as a salve. Move from love, go with love, and the word doesn't mean anything. And I think Bell Hooks even said it best, that word, I'm heavily paraphrasing, that love is one of the hardest words to describe because it's not a definition really. In my opinion, it's an action. Love is in your actions. And when you have love for yourself, love for others, love for life, love for this earth, you begin moving differently. You change in the way in which you engage around others differently. And that's what love is. And when we're talking about Oshun, fearless love, that kind of love that doesn't have hampers on it, doesn't have hindrances on it, that even if something is telling you you can't go, you can't do this, you're like, I have to because love compels me to. We talked about anger, we talked about worth, now we're talking about love. These are the things that are all motivating us in this period. All the reasons why we do what we do. Again, we're not being superheroes. This is not about being a superhero. This is not about being seen. This is not about being named. This is not about trying to build up a personal legacy. This is about meeting the need and the moment for all of us, domestically and globally. And it is very possible to say, I don't know this person, but I love this person because I love the humanity in this person. And I love the humanity in me. And since I love the humanity in me, I'm gonna love the humanity in you, and I'm gonna fight for you. I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to fight to ensure that the systems that have a noose around my neck don't also put one around you. I'm going to fight to ensure that that our lineage, the generations after us and after them, and so on and so forth, don't have to fight this battle in the same way, or we give them a blueprint for when times for their wheel of fortune comes back around again, when this shit comes back around again. For hey, this had already been done before. It was defeated then, it can be defeated again, and this is how we do it. And because I love you, and I love the world that we're in, I love the earth that we share, I will do everything I do to protect her, to protect you, to protect us, to protect it. Love makes the world go round. Love makes everything function. And that's when you move love from just a term into what it should always be, which is action. That's how you navigate and guide and create a new system where we're moving in a better, stronger, more fulfilling pace. Finally, we have Yumiya awakening. Her guidance is, wake up. Awaken now to your true self. Are those tears of joy or sorrow? Let them out. Yumiya swallows your tears. Her embodiment. You are vibrating at a higher frequency, so you see everything differently. This is a goddess rising. You are waking up, and once you have experienced awakening, you can never go back to not knowing. The path of awakening is not straight, comfortable, or easy. This is, again, that Justice card energy. You have chosen to lift the veil and have a real relationship with the divine. You didn't come to transcend this world while you're living in it. You came here to dig into the soil, plant yourself, and grow. Dig into the soil. That's the 7 of Wands, and 7 of Wands specifically, but Wands and Pentacles as well. Plant yourself and grow. This ascension is your divine purpose. God's declaration. I am receiving and radiating love. I love that God's declaration is still connected to the fearless love of Oshun, and also because these are both Orishas, I really kind of love that those are both connected in that type of way as well. Yeah, this is a really awakening moment for a lot of people. A lot of people are being awakened, and I think it's very easy to be like, we've been told you, oh, now you get it, oh, now you're awake now. And I'm not even saying, because again, like, that's part of that anger. It's understandable, because for a lot of us, the boot's been at our neck from birth. We had no choice but to have the boot at our neck. And there's a lot of people being like, well, if you just don't do this and don't do that, the boot will lift off your neck, right? And it's like, that's because the boot isn't on yours. And for people who aren't used to being a part of this type of violence, they always have an excuse for other people who are born into these violence. And by me born into, I mean by the very nature of their existence, their queerness, their race, their gender, their nationality, their ethnicity, their class, their socioeconomic status. They are born with certain boots and nooses around their necks, and they can only move as far as the boot or the noose will allow them to go. And for some people who aren't born with those things, or maybe have those things, but let's say their intersections are different from your intersections. So yeah, you may be white and queer, but you're still white, right? And so you get to live you get to survive and breathe easier in a white supremacist culture than someone who is black and straight, black and queer, right? It gets harder when you're trans. It gets harder when you're poor. But your whiteness still gives you a bit of a leeway, right? But you still have those other type of blockers on you. And so even within the white power structure, you still have certain blockers that allows you from the fullness of being connected to the benefits that a white supremacist system has created for you to have. And what a lot of people do is they will still engage in that system because, like, all I have is my whiteness, and everything else denies me, but I'll still engage in it. So I'll still enact the violence that the white supremacist structure requires of me. When you awaken to that understanding and you're like, actually, no, because that's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. And it was created by a group of people who are fucking long dead, first of all. Second of all, created these systems off of fear. They created these systems in order to have a cudgel against other people so that no one could rise up. And when they did rise up, they used extreme methods of violence and genocide to stop these type of things. I don't want that to be a part of my legacy. And when I awakened to that truth, I learned to how do I find my place in this? How do I move? I'm now angry at this system, and it's good for me to be angry, but how do I use that anger beneficially? How do I still use certain privileges I have to benefit the whole? How do I move from a place of love? How do I move from fearless love? How do I move from a place where I can now see the worth in people that I did not see? How do I move within these positions? What position am I in? What position? How do I help the collective? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's very important. And then when they're doing that, it's very important that for the rest of us, we give them space. Now, I'm not saying you have to forgive everybody, because if a person coming to me has been calling me a slur all my life, congratulations, you unlearned that. But you've been calling me a slur all my life. So, you know what I mean? I will never tell a group of people that they have to forgive their oppressor. Just because their oppressor realized, hey, I've been oppressing people. But it is important that there are people who may have been in that same situation that can help these people. That can help them be like, okay, yeah, so you realize this. Let's work on unpacking and unlearning stuff. Let's work on changing ourselves, and let's work on, while we're doing that, work on fighting the system and changing the system, or creating a newer, better social system or governmental system where we're helping each other, right? So I think it's very important that we move from that place of love that comes with understanding, that comes with putting action first and foremost. Learning, when our anger is fueling us and when it's consuming us, learning what our love is being used as a complacency holder, and when it's actually being put into action. Learn how to work as a collective with people. I mean, I think about in accordance with this topic, I think about how Fred Hampton, he reached out to people of different ethnic, races, and social classes, and his goal wasn't to create the perfect, this full idea of a perfect world. We all hold hands and sing songs, but understanding that, hey, you ain't gotta like me, but you do know the system is fucking all of us, right? No lube, no rubber, no first date, no kiss in the mouth. We're all getting fucked by this system. And I think that's very important, because I think we have to kind of remember that some people that we're going to be fighting alongside are not going to be our friends. And that's fine. They don't have to be our friends. But we do have to understand that when we're attacking the heart of the Hydra, that it's important that we're all hands on sword together, right? No man can be left behind in this battle, because we're all needed in this battle. You can still dislike me when the battle is over. I don't really give a shit. But do you still see my humanity? I need you to see my humanity. And I need you to move from a place of not just singular individual love for you and people who look like you, but for people who don't look like you. For understanding that you can individually and personally find me appalling. I don't care. I can be. It is what it is. But systemically, what are we doing? Structurally, what are we doing? Understand that there's differences between us. how are we going to put those differences, find a common ground in those differences, and finding where the root of the things that are hindering all of us. Because I'm not hindering you because I'm black. I'm not hindering you because I'm queer. I'm not hindering you because I'm a non-binary and I'm a femme. I'm not hindering you. None of those existences of myself are hindering you. So if there's something that you are being, that you are not getting and receiving, instead of looking at me, it's time to open your eyes. It's time to awaken. It's time to get woke. Yeah, I hate that term, but it's time to get woke and wake the fuck up and see what systems are actually doing you harm, and deciding to fight those systems instead of fighting people who are in the shit, in the mud with you. All right. So I think that is it for the tarot and oracle. I had pulled out some other cards, but I think this is actually it for the reading. I'm going to end this reading, as I always do, with some words of connection and affirmation, comfort and affirmation. So I'm going to be pulling some affirmation cards here. So let me just shuffle some cards here. Pull some out to end this reading. Thank you guys for showing up for this reading. Thank you guys for showing up for yourself in this reading. Thank you for spending this so far hour and a half with me. I promise it won't be any much longer after I finish these affirmation readings. I can let you guys go. But I do hope that you take hope you do take that the energy from this reading, what we're going to be moving into, where we're going to, the need that's going to be meeting us for this year. This is a year that's important about our connections, about the relationships, about those type of people that we're in community with. Community is a very big word that I love. It's a very big, very small, very important word that I love to use all the time, because our community matters. Who we're in community with matters. Who we fight for matters. We move from a place of, we let our anger fuel us. We let our anger guide us, but not consume us. We work from a place of love. Love is an action that we do. Love for ourselves, love for others, love for God or spirit, however you want to, universe, or however you want to see it. If you don't believe in that, love for each other, love for the beautiful earth that we're a part of, love for the humanity of one another. We are all called to stand firm in our beliefs and our systems and fight for this year. Fight in whichever way, whether you are the Nine of Wands, a old worker who's been, like I said, not new to this, true to this, so you've been working for a long time, so you know how to work with mutual aid systems, you know how to work with food banks, you know how to to meet the need in which the systems are failing people, whether you are the artist, the creative who are creating works in whichever way you can to challenge the system, whether you are the reverse justice card where you are confronting these systems head on, using your voice and your position to be vocal and put that fear back into where it belongs, or whether you are these Six of Swords reverse where you are fighting, protesting, boots on the ground, working hard to ensure that it's not just rhetoric that's being done, but actual work and opposing systems. Remembering that the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse is telling us that these are not things that are going to get solved within a year. This is not going to shift and change within a year. This is a lifelong endeavor. work with that intention. Work with the intention that we are all connected, that we are not one. Even if we have individual purposes and callings, we're all connected together. And now, for our words of affirmation at the end of this reading, I feel more and more healed every day. I love that. I love that you are working from a place of healing, from a place of growth. Even if you found yourself at the beginning of your awakening, where you're realizing that, oh, hey, I might have engaged in some terrible systems and I want to change that. Good. Do that. Work on that and do it every single day. It's not a one and done thing. You will make mistakes. You will backslide. You will offend people you're trying to be allies to. Learn from that. Keep going from that. Keep doing. And every day as you heal, you're moving forward and forward and forward, and you're changing the world for the better. I am not going to stress out or worry about how things work out for me. Very good. Do not take your time to take your rest. We rest and prepare to continue the fight. Do not stress about how this this year is going to end up. Do not try to, while we are changing and creating together a new reality, a new social system, a new world that's fighting against this hydra of violence that we're seeing, that we're living in. Do not be so overly stressed that you stress yourself out of the fight, that you stress yourself back into complacency. Like I said, lifelong fight, a lifelong journey. This is very important that we work together. And it's also important that we reach out to each other. We don't do this alone. Reach out to people. Reach out to other folks. Do not let the terror of this life consume you so much that you forget the joy that you're fighting for. And finally, from the I Am Everything deck, I am receptive. I'm open to new ideas. I'm willing to try different methods, and I consider alternate viewpoints. I welcome intellectual stimulation. I'm receptive. Very good card. This is a really good time for you guys to be receptive, especially when we're talking about all of these cards working together in as the main oracle card said, in complex relationships. Be receptive to one another. Do not think that your way is the only way or the true way. When we're talking about building community within each other, with each other, be receptive to hear other people's point of views. Be receptive to always learn. Always know what your limitations are. We all have them. And there'll be things that I do not know that someone else will. There'll be some things that someone don't know that I will. We all have different experiences. We have different education levels. There's certain interest things. So there may be things that people who have deep knowledge of, because they just have an interest in that, they never really thought it will actually be put into action or anything. Their information matters. Their voice matters. They matter. Like you said in the cards, matter. You matter. We all matter. And when we become receptive, we open ourselves up to communication. We open ourselves up to creating a culture where we are moving in a place of, like I said, intellectual stimulation, but also gratitude, understanding, love, and care. But that is all that I have for this reading. Thank you again, like I said, for showing up. I want to thank Great Spirit, my beloved and benevolent ancestors, and my guides for being here with this reading. And again, I want to thank you guys for showing up, for clicking on this reading, where you listen to it on Spotify, I listen to it on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. I pray this message is one of connection, healing, growth, encouragement. Most importantly, encouragement. Go forth. It's not going to get any easier it's not going to get any easier, and it's not going to get any better before it gets worse, but it's not going to stay worse forever. I truly, truly believe that. I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it. Like I said, I'm a realist. I'm not with the bullshit. So I say what I think and what I know is to be true, and what I know and think to be true is that it will definitely get better before it gets fucking worse. So yeah, you guys got this. We got this. Like Kendrick said, we gonna be all right. And I will see you guys next month. So, love you guys.